I don't know, like this episode has had like a year of, it's been a year in the making to put this episode together. So it's like really hard to think about how do I kick this episode off. Because I've had a year to think about it and I've still never landed on the perfect way to kick this off, that there's almost so much anticipation behind it. So much meaning for me, but so much anticipation for people to see it. So I don't know how to start it. Do you know what I mean?
Maybe a cinematic.
Maybe that'll help me. Actually, let's do that. Let's just do a cinematic. Can we do that thing where you bring in the shrink screen and then and then you color grade it so it's like really dark and moody, and then just like kick it off with that? All right, 3, 2, 1, action. In this episode, I'm going to be running you guys through the entire build process and how we put this one-of-a-kind car together behind me. And we are so excited to announce that Red Dirt has its biggest giveaway that we have ever done. And the details of that will be coming up later in this episode. And of course, the cost breakdown, because I put little dollar signs in the thumbnail to make you watch this. So of course, I'll be telling you what this thing costed me. I don't even know myself, so stick around for that too. Let's go. Now I'm about to tell you that I built this entire car in less than 3 months. And when I tell you that, that's an actual fact. And you're probably wondering, how is that humanly possible to have this much detail get done in such a small period of time? Now, I'm gonna give away one of my trade secrets, which may help you and give away one of the clues in how YouTube is doing this, because I'm gonna tell you how I did this. A few factors. Point number 1, obviously manpower and a lot of effort from a lot of people. But number 2, here's the trade secret, a 3D scan. Now, a 3D scan, if you don't know, is essentially where you put little magnets on the car and you scan it over and then you get a digital copy of the car. What that does is it gets to simulate that this car is in multiple places at the same time without me having to drive the car around and expect to have it in 1,000 different places in a very small period of time. So now that I have a 3D scan, I'm able to execute a lot of work at once. I'm gonna say that again. A lot of work at once, meaning that 5 different things were able to be built in different locations so that it can all get put on at once, AKA turning a car around very quickly. So first things first, I had the mature approach. I'm a mature girl. I wanted to take care of the heart of the car. With my cars, they get used in a very intense way on YouTube. And I think that it's really important that I double down on the motors of the vehicle and make sure that they're operating well and healthy. You gotta remember, I didn't own this car long before now, so I wanted to check it over and make sure that if it needed anything, I nipped that in the butt early. So I doubled down on ProCheck and then we went through the entire car and gave it love in the areas that it needed. Meaning that after that, the lid just came off the jar, construction just went through the roof, and we went crazy in this car. I felt like I blinked and the car had just drastically changed overnight. So now you may think that I've built this car in a weird order to tell you that one of the first things that I did was put suspension in the car before we have things like weight and bar work. But like I said, lots of things are being built at once. So I took a bit of a risk and I tried something that I hadn't done before, and fingers crossed it worked out well. I find myself at Superior Engineering. I've gone with the 4-inch Hyperflex kit. I really wanted to focus on that high flex and high performance in the off-road experience, so there was no track that I couldn't do. Do you know what I mean? Now, I'm just gonna be honest, I may have taken it forward driving after that. I wasn't supposed to, but I did. I definitely shouldn't be having this much fun right now. And now back on track with the build process with a minor 24-hour forward driving delay, I find myself at Roof Racks Galore. This place was unreal because the setup that they have to be able to winch and pull things off big cars, I saw my entire roof system get installed in a very, very small period of time, which was mad. It was easy for me. We pulled off what we needed to. We installed my wedge tail flat platform rack, and then on top of that, my 23-0 rooftop tent. I'm a 23-0 girl and I've tried a lot of 23-0 products. This one impresses me a lot, like a lot. I gave 23-0 a bit of a brief description on what I think would be the best four-wheel driving rooftop tent that hasn't yet hit the market. And I told them, make it light as humanly possible. Now I'm gonna be honest, I weigh less than 60 kilos. And that rooftop tent behind me weighs less than that. The mattress is still comfortable. I can fit 2 people in it. If you're someone that has to park your car in your garage, or you still want to be able to fit into car parks, if you're a city slicker, I get that. Still want to be able to go adventuring on the weekend, but be able to park your car away, that's respectable. I used to be like that as well. And this is the smallest, most slim profile rooftop tent I have ever seen. And of course, I had to marry it up with good Falcon awnings so that I could get out of the rain just in case it rains. And now at this point, my roof is completely assembled and ready to go to the next phase. So do you remember how I said I 3D scanned the car? Yes. Well, at the same time that all of this was happening, we were fabricating my custom bar work. Literally at the same time. It was wild running between every single place, trying to manage the whole thing going down. But it meant that it was fast, and now my bar work is well underway. I know that when I say metamorphic, a lot of you probably never heard of that before, and I kind of love that, to be completely honest. You guys know me. I do not like off-the-shelf parts. I do not like my cars to look like every other car that you see driving around on the streets. If you're gonna put all of this effort and money and time into a car, I want it to be uniquely mine. So the way in doing that was to find a custom fabrication house that could service my wild ideas. And the specs that I gave them was I wanted to create something that was low, wide, and modern. So I'll put it to you. You tell me if you think that the car hits that brief. I think that it's an absolute 10 out of 10, but that's the specs that I gave them. I 1,000% publicly can say that I will be going back to metamorphic. Between my wild and almost untangible ideas and their skill set, literally anything was possible. And of course, the car's meant to be built for a very specific purpose, to be able to go full driving, and I wanted to protect it. But I wanted to protect it and make sure that it stayed looking good the entire time. I'm a very hard person to impress. I have never seen a single wagon ever with 360 bar work all around it that I actually think looks good. I genuinely mean that, but this car behind me, I don't even need to tell you it looks good, you already know. So now that my bar work is ready to go, it's time to get it off to powder coat. I took it to Sunshine Coast Powder Coatings. Shout out to them, they turned it over extremely quickly. And now I've got my phone in my hand because during this time of powder coat, I need to get the car to a shed so that I can run through so much labor of all of the little installations that needed to be done that I actually did at Sam Iles' house. Shout out to him, he probably deserves it. Mate, I really appreciate you letting me use your shed and your tools to be able to flesh out an extreme list of stuff. And then we executed this in 4 days. It's a big list. Firstly, we ripped everything off the car. We just went into full delete mode. If it could be deleted, we just threw it in the bin to open up the canvas to just put replacement stuff on it. Like I said earlier, the car is a 99 model. A lot of the stuff, to be completely honest, was very broken down, very cracked, very old, very dry. The body needed a lot of work, so much more work than what I was prepared for walking into this. So then we just get stuck into it. So many 3 a.m. finish nights. You'll be able to see I am so tired at this point. I'm so tired. After creating a blank canvas, I installed my EcoX Sound Extreme music setup that I have at the back. I am obsessed with this part of the car. Obviously, we all know it. EcoX has got like one of the best ranges for tough, waterproof, good for the outdoors, harsh living speaker systems. But they've had some new gear come out recently that caught my eye. I've seen these marine speakers, I died. I had to have them in the car. So I've rigged up the back of the car, the new Sound Extreme bar with the marine speakers on the outside. It's so impressive how loud this thing goes and the sound quality when you go to those really big ranges of noise. And it was the first thing that I wanted to do, considering I need to be in the garage for the next 4 days. I needed to have music through the whole thing. Now, one of the big features that EcoX provides is lighting. There's neon strip lighting and whips, and all these things can marry into the speakers, and I obviously wanted to optimize on that for the vibe. The whole thing is just like one massive extreme disco ball. but it looks great and it sounds great. And obviously all of that needs to be wired up. That took a fair bit of time to make everything tidy. Then I needed to go into my radio. I've opted for the EcoX radio kit. Now with my other car, the N70, one of the really big complimentary points that you guys liked was the way that I installed my aerial to the car. I put it in a bit of a unique spot. I wanted to do something similar to this car, something a little bit different that I hadn't seen before. I did take inspiration off someone, but you guys loved it so much, just the way that it was finished into the car. So of course, I had to do something similar to hopefully impress you guys again. So with this car, I've put it at the very back of the car and I've finished it in really nicely, well I think it's nicely, into my rear bar. It's tight, it's neat, it looks unusual, it's definitely different. It kind of looks like a little remote controlled toy car now, so I kind of like it. So now I'm just unboxing everything and getting it onto the car as fast as possible. And I've done things like my Razorback seat covers. Of course, I had to opt for the custom embroidered Red Dirt logo on there. And then I've got a bunch of gear from Panel House. I did the same thing with the Hilux, and the gear has never, ever let me down in the harshest, hottest, coldest, wettest environments. So of course I've gone and done it again. And this is what gives the car that 300 series inspired look. Myself and Panel House, a year before this process even started, were really discussing the 300 series and how good some of the components of that car looks. And I wanted to see if that could be integrated into a 105. So I've gone and gotten 300 series inspired headlights, as well as tail lights, the mirrors, the door handles, and all the bits and pieces in between. But there is one huge talking point that I know you're waiting, being like, Bridget, please, for the love of God, what the hell have you done with that grill of yours? Yes, it's a 300 series grill that we custom made to fit to this car. It is a one-off, very cool, extremely, extremely, extremely underlined full stop unique grill that unfortunately isn't available on the market. And I think that it looks fucking incredible. The thing is insane. It's got lights inside of it. It's got a sequential light up sequence when you turn the ignition on. It indicates with the indicator. It is one of the best looking components of this car. If you see this car at a car show, I really encourage you, come and look at my grille up close and personal. It's absolutely jaw dropping. Massive, massive shout out to Panel House for pulling this off so flawlessly. Now, with only a few hours to go before I have to get the car on the truck and off to the next destination, I have very quickly, thankfully, it's an easy install. I've gone and installed my PBS steering wheel. Love it a bit. She's stitched with pink. I mean, it makes sense, right? I've then gone and chucked in a winch and wired every single thing up as much as possible, because with the few hours that I have left, or days I should say, but it's not enough hours, let me make that so clear, body prep. This car needs to be wrapped. As much as I thought that I bought a very untouched, never been forward driven, one female owner, blah, 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 all the things that you see on Facebook Marketplace, as much as I thought that's what I bought, when you look at it down to the mill, it just wasn't that perfectly straight. And when you're gonna wrap a car, that really, really matters. And one of the big astronomical headaches that I run into that I didn't realize is 100 series has come with this plastic, I don't even know what you call it, someone in the comment section help me. It's like this plastic line that's midway down the doors, and it goes from the front door to the back door and into the rear quarter as well. I can't wrap over that, it needs to come off. You would assume that it would have very small little pinholes that it hooks onto or that it stitches into to get it onto the body of the car. No, hell no. It's so much worse than what you realize when you tear it off. There are about thumb-size holes, fairly big, and 27 of them along the entire side of the car. Way too big to bog, because if you have any experience with bogging something, it's just gonna crack and fall through when you go forward driving, which this car is going to do. So it needs to be welded. Oh my God. I don't know how I got so lucky. I don't know how I got this lucky, but there just happens to be someone in the Red Dirt team that has experience with painting and bogging and finessing the body of a car to make it perfect for paint. I can't believe that I just had this person at my fingertips. But myself and them, we went crazy for hours. Listen to me, people, hours. We were up until early hours of the morning, ordering Domino's at 2:30 a.m., I swear, so that we could put so much time into the body of this car to then machine it down, so much hand filing. I still feel like I have like powder of bog in my nose at the moment that when I blow it out, it comes out orange. That's how much work we had to put into the body of this car to be able to get it so that it was straight and ready to go to the wrapper, which is where I'm going next for one of the most exciting parts of this car. Bugger! And now it's 3 o'clock in the morning. I am exhausted, waiting for the bog to dry. As soon as the sun cracks in the morning, I have to have this cruiser on the truck, strapped in, and going down to the headquarters of Hardcore to install all of my 12 volt and all of my lighting. It sounds simple, but there is so much going into this car at Hardcore. I needed to get down there, couldn't waste a single minute so that we could just get all hands on deck into the next phase of this build. So I've tried out a fair few Hardcore products on the N70, but their catalog is ridiculously big. And I was really excited to start to tap into a specific section of the catalog that I hadn't honestly had the real estate on my other car to be able to fit it. And that's what I want to do with this car. So all of my drive lights and all of my 12 volts is gear that I haven't had on any other car before. I've tried to stay away from that stuff and try something completely different and new. Yes, this is a wheeling car and I completely understand that. But being the YouTuber that I am, I'm someone that likes to cook for everyone when we go camping. I do have a lot of camera gear that I need to charge throughout the whole process. So power really it matters for me, and it probably matters for you too, but really focusing and keeping things slimline, lightweight, efficient, and tidy is really crucial with this car because I need to create as much storage as possible. And of course, my drive lighting is insane. I've tried to put as much as I can into my bull bar. I think that it looks unreal. It's dressed really nicely. I've got little pink finishes on the outside, and you can have them too. This isn't something that was specially made for me. It's available on their website. And then all of my blacked out casings just to really marry into the direction that I'm trying to go with the car, keeping it stealthy, keeping it modern. And I think that it looks 10 out of 10. If I'm sad about anything, is that there's not more space left on this car. I'll show it to you. We have squished so much lighting into the car. I wanted the toughest, the brightest, and the most aggressive gear that they had. That's the section of the catalog that I really doubled down on, is the strongest, most hardcore gear that you have. I want that, and I want it on this car. Now, I'm saluting and saying sayonara to Hardcore headquarters, and I'm on my way to probably one of the most exciting parts of this build. Exciting to me because I've never ever done this before, and I really wanted to try something that was new to me. And by that, I do mean the wrap of this car. Now with this, I did my research. I went to lots of different normal cookie cutter wrapping joints that have experience in wrapping four-wheel drives, but I really wanted absolute premium. I wanted to spend an exorbitant amount of money and get the best of the best. And my research landed me on a place called Wrap Masters, which is their street cred in Southeast Queensland is that they are truly the best. And I wanted to have that experience. Now, the trickiest part was trying to convince them to wrap my four-wheel drive, because these guys, they only wrap brand new cars from the dealership or Lamborghinis and Ferraris and ridiculous $300,000+ cars at a minimum. After so much begging and pleading, I somehow convinced them to say yes. And the job that they've done was incredible. For my first wrap job, I genuinely don't think I'm gonna be able to find anything better. If you guys are looking at trying to wrap your car, 100% check out Wrap Masters. Probably don't take your four-wheel drive, but with your Lamborghini, get in there, they'll do it. Now, I have loaded and unloaded this cruiser onto trucks and car trailers a lot, multiple times a day for the last 3 months. And I've never been nervous until this very moment. When I got the keys back of my cruiser from Wrap Masters, my hands were literally shaking trying to load it onto the truck. I was so nervous because now that it looks the part, I don't want to scratch the part. So very gently, very slowly, with perfect precision, I load the car onto the truck for the last time. So now I'm pulling the spanners out for hopefully one of the last times, and I'm putting on all of my bar work, and now I can really see what I've been imagining for so many months start to come to life. And it's truly, truly looking the part. And I took this opportunity to put on my show wheels and tires as well. Didn't want to scratch anything. I wanted it to be perfect for you guys at the show. And of course, I had to rig it up with my Toyo MTs. I've been running Toyos for the longest time, and because this car is going to be a dedicated off-road wheeling vehicle, I needed the Toyo MTs. I've tried them before and I rate them so highly, and I really wanted to have them for this specific car. And now I find myself standing back and I'm looking at the car, and it's looking very, very close to being done. As it sits in this very current moment, it's time for me to leave and get the car down to the Melbourne 4x4 show so that you guys can enjoy it at the reveal. But the fact is, the car isn't quite finished just yet. So between here and Melbourne, I've got multiple stops along the way, and I'll be finishing the car on the road so that it's perfect by the time you guys see it. Well, jump cut, I had to save the best place for last, and that place is Polaris. I'm on my way to Melbourne, but I had to stop and get some exciting secret modifications. I'm going to show you what I can, but what I might tease for you is some of the few mods that this car has. Definitely suits the car and the futuristicness of this car, and these parts will soon be available for you guys as well. So you have that to look forward to. So what's next? It's the bit that you've all been waiting for, obviously. It's the price breakdown. Before I get into the cost breakdown of this car, it's really important to me that the first thing that is addressed is this. If it wasn't for the Red Dirters and you guys supporting me, I wouldn't be put into the position to have brands that you can see behind me want to work with me to build a car like this at a much lower cost than what it would have been if I didn't have you supporting me and watching me along the way. So for that, the first thing that I want to say is thank you to you. You guys do not get applauded enough. I've said this before and I want you to hear it again now. And I want to give back to you guys so that you can feel the rewards that you've been able to give me. So with that, myself and the brands behind me that have helped contribute to build this car, we've come together to create 3 prizes for you Red Dirters to be able to feel the benefits as well. Now, I'm really excited to tell you guys how you can have your chance to win. It's easy. You just need to do 3 simple things. Number 1, you need to be subscribed to the Red Dirt YouTube channel. Number 2, find your favorite thing on this car that you love and comment it down below in this video. And if you want a bonus entry, number 3, all you need to do is pick up your phone and record your TV screen and the fact that you're watching this episode right now, and share that onto your Instagram story, and don't forget to tag Red Dirt at the same time. Now, if you want to find out the details and the things that you can win, remember there's 3 very lucky winners. I'll break down all of the prizes into the description below, and don't forget there is over $7,500 worth of prizes for you to get your hands on. So when you're finished watching this, go and follow the 3 rules, check out the description, and cross your fingers. That literally can't be correct. Okay, hang on. So the car was 14,000, and then the motor 25,000, painful number. 7,500, 5,500, 7,000, a cheeky 1,500. Best 1,500 I ever spent was getting the 3D drawing. That's the price of fast tracking, mate. $1,000 and $1,500. What does that come to? 70,000 flat. That's so weird.
70,000 flat.
Okay, so wait. Oh, I'm actually getting quite sad. I feel like this car's gonna be more expensive than I prepared for. Okay, cool. So then we cut it up. Then I sent you with a list of things to look up. So what was his?
So 21,800.
21,800. I'm getting concerned. And then what was your total?
10,100.
10,000. And then the difficulty of trying to figure out labor. Let's just have a quick chat about this, and let me make sure I do this fair. I don't want to just come up with some obscene number. So why don't we do this? So we'll reverse engineer it. This car was built in just under 3 months. 4 of those days were at a shed location with me and the Red Dirt team running around. I worked 3 hours, so we won't account for those labor hours. But every other day it was at a shop or a workshop or something, getting some sort of build. pretty much every day except Sundays. So then let's do this. Let's do 3 months worth of work minus 4 days, 5 days a week of work at 40 hours a week at $70 of an hourly rate. Do you feel like that's fair? I think I might be on the right track there. Can we do that maths? What does that come to?
A total of $30,000.
All right. Yuck, 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 yuck. Okay, now can someone get a calculator out, please? I need you to add 70 plus 30 plus 21,800 plus 10,100.
It was $132,000.
It's a lot. 100 and what?
$132,000.
$132,000. Yep. Cool. Love that. You know what? I was expecting it and I was somewhat prepared for it because the fact of the matter is Hilux was much the same. You want something high performing, you want something to do what this car is gonna go and do, and because I have expensive taste, it's just the way that I am. I end up in the expensive corner of the website and every single website that I go on because I like things custom made and nothing to be off the shelf and one of a kind part and completely unique looking and all of those things combined together. That's how you seem to end up with, what was it? $132,000.
$132,000.
You heard it here first, people. The car behind me, a 99 model with that much love poured into it and literally everything except the body replaced. Now, I can't lie, knowing that number adds a lot more nerves than I already had with what I planned in driving, the tracks that I plan on driving with this car. Knowing the number, the real estate that I'm holding onto in the steering wheel definitely makes my palms sweaty, but I'm so looking forward to the future. Thank you so much for watching along in this episode, and I'll see you in the next one.
Yeah, to be honest, I was thinking about the same thing. I think a good way to go about the edit would be
Hi, YouTube.
Hi, YouTube.
what's really important to me is that the Red Dirters can see that it's not just me and only me and Red Dirt thanking them. I don't know, do you reckon that there's like a way that it can be edited in that the sponsors are a part of it too, so that there's like one bigger voice, not just my little voice?
I just want to say thank you to the Red Dirt community.
Thank you to the Red Dirt community.
Yes, sick. Yep, I'd really like that. Let's try that.
Thank you to the Red Dirt community.
Thank you to Red Dirt community.
Thank you to the Red Dirt community.
Thank you to the Red Dirt community.
I just wanted to say thank you to the Red Dirt community.
Thank you to the Red Dirt community for everything you do.
Oh, surely we've got, I don't want to sit in this for half an hour. Do we have like a 23-0 chair somewhere?
It's over there.
Yeah, okay, sit. Okay, good. This is good. I wasn't going to sit in that thing for half an hour. All right. I'm ready. Sit. Wow. We only have 13 minutes left on the card. That's why I'm trying to do it quick. This time on Red Dirt Diary, a little bit of... So once I got on my... I was about to say got on my knees. Nope. I was going, once I got on my knees and begged them, but because I'm a girl, I can't say that without someone being like, ah, right? Anyway, for the bloopers.